What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the last week. If you like the Scale News, make sure to hit the like button before you leave. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so you see the videos as soon as they get uploaded. This week, we have a handful of topics, so let's jump right into them. And the first topic that I have is actually not scale at all for the most part, but you'll understand why. Redcat Racing released a monster truck this week. It's a monster truck. Monster trucks aren't necessarily something that I'm all that into, but Redcat put out a bunch of information about this, and it's a 6S capable monster truck at a pretty decent price. But the thing that caught my eye about it is that the body on it. Now, normally monster truck bodies are way out of scale, and this one is like the rest of them, you know, it's an independent all the way around monster truck. But the body that's on this thing has got some real potential, I think, for scale trucks, depending on the wheelbase and how things work. But I want to get my hands on one because the body that they put on this, to me, looks kind of like a mix between an old Ford Courier and maybe like a Toyota Stout mini truck. Just small overall. I think that the shaping on this body looks pretty good. I think that it really has some potential. I want to get one in hand. I assume that Redcat will release this body in clear. I'm not 100% sure. I've never looked at like replacement bodies for their other vehicles outside of the scale world where you can get their Scout 2 body in a clear way. So hopefully you can get this one in that form as well. So I'm kind of interested. The monster truck name is called like the Kaiju or something like that. I'm positive I'm butchering that, but either way, I like the body. Kind of want to pick one up. The body, not the monster truck. But either way, if you're interested and you want to see more pictures or you actually want to see information on the Redcat itself, I'll link to it in the description below. You can go check that out, see if there's anything there that interests you other than just the body like me. And the next product is a backpack or a book bag or whatever you guys call it growing up. But it's a backpack and it's from a brand called CarryAll RC, a brand that I believe is fairly new or just popping up. Anyway, they're taking, and I'm not 100% sure if they're modifying or actually manufacturing their own backpack and tailoring it specifically to RC trail drivers like myself and probably many of you. But just a ton of options that they're trying to make for this, making it easy to be able to hook your car onto your backpack and carry it out if you need to, or maybe you're carrying a spare, or you're carrying your kids who got bored and wandered off who knows where. There's always the possibility of having to carry a car back. But just the ability to carry a truck on your backpack is not all that this thing offers. They also try and tailor it to RC needs and people like you and I. And they do that by offering different mounting and carrying solutions on the backpack. And then they also have things that you can add to this package, like they have first aid kits, lipo bags, actual tools that you can get with it, USB charging blocks, just a bunch of other little things like that. You can go check out their Facebook page for all of the details and pricing and things like that. But just overall, it's cool to see someone taking and trying to develop a fringe product and bring it and market it to people specifically like us. Most likely the person who developed this is a person like you or I, saw a need, felt like they could be the one to fill that need, and offered this to all of us. So if you'd like further information on CarryAll RC or specifically the CarryAll RC backpack, go check out their page in the description below. You can see everything that they offer and prices, all that good stuff. And next, for those of you who were tempted and picked up the TRX4 Trax or just the Trax upgrade option for your TRX4, looks like Traxxas is now offering upgrade tracks for your Trax, except these have deeper tracks. These are being marketed specifically to have a deeper tread on the tracks for looser surfaces, snow, sand, wherever you're possibly driving your tracks. They're sold in a set of 4, as you probably expect, and it looks like they're going to be available right away. This is one that kind of surprised me. I figured they would have come out with the deep tread version of the tracks on the tracks that they previously released. It seems like that would be the market where you were really trying to push tracks. I don't know. I just like saying tracks, so I'm going to keep repeating that there's new tracks options for your tracks. Tracks. Then over the last few days, we had more pictures of the production version of the Vanquish product's Capra axle housings get posted up. These modify the look of the axial Capra housing to take the center pumpkin and shift it over to the driver's side, or the left side if you're sitting in it, right side if you're facing in it, however you want to actually refer to that. This is an improvement for both style and clearance overall, and of course it allows you to use it with a VFD transmission as a bonus. But nonetheless, these are going to be coming out fairly soon. Production is running now. These will be sold as an upgrade housing, but they will also include the inner shafts, as those are different than the stock ones. The rest of the parts, such as the ring, pinion, spool, portal boxes and gears, all of those will carry across from your stock axle. Final information on pricing and availability will pop up at the time of release. And that does it for actual news topics for this week, but I do have one other topic I want to get into. Kind of an interesting one, and it has me pondering like the future of our hobby in the long run. And to kind of get you to how I got to thinking about that today, I got a new tool in the mail. It's a new torch, and I'm deep in the middle of fabrication for my Nationals truck. So it got me all excited. I'm ready to use this new tool that I got. And I started to think about, okay, well, I'm going to do a video specifically on this torch because it's something I'm excited to use. And I just, started thinking about like, oh, well, I wonder who in my audience will care or not care about this. And then got to thinking about what is my audience and how much of my audience is actually in that younger age range that may not care about this at all. And then how much of our hobby is that younger age range? How many new people are actually going to grow into this hobby? Are kids only going to be playing video games? Do they care at all about, or do they see the allure of RC cars like we do as grown adults? I don't know. I know that going to events like Axial Fest and ASD Crawlers events out here, we are lucky out here to have a huge amount of events. And I do see families with their kids coming in and, participating as a family. Now, what I don't know is, are kids going to be interested on their own? Or are the kids going to be interested in that range where, they've stopped just doing whatever dad wants to do and they can start kind of choosing their own thing? Are they going to want to get into this hobby, or is it, is it just going to be video games? Have they completely lost interest in this? And what does that mean for the future of our hobby in 10 years and 15, 20 years? Where's it going to be? We've got the laws that we talked about last week with, the FAA and how that could greatly affect the aviation side of RC. If things like that happen and erode even the market that we have today, what is that going to then trickle into in the future? I know that I had an interest in model aviation, as a young kid. I just don't know if that will, continue to be a thing with I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy video games as well. My editing computer will do a little bit of double duty as a gaming PC on a very rare occasion. And, consoles is something I also enjoy, but it's rare for me. I still, taking something and turning it into a physical thing that I've created is something that I find to be much more rewarding. Will that continue to be the case? I myself didn't get into this hobby until 2004. Now, I was an 80s kid, so, but I did it on my own. It was something that I had had enjoyed RC as a kid and decided that I wanted an actual RC on my own. I just decided that I wanted to look into this and went through the magazines and things like that to try and make a decision, and then finally found internet forums, and then found the beginning of RC Crawler right when it started. And then I was just headstrong into RC crawling, and then that led to trail trucks and things along those lines. I know that many of you are parents, and what I would wonder is, honestly, can you say that you think that your child will be interested in this hobby on their own as a young adult? What age do you start RC at? And do you think that you will see others now start RC at a similar age? RC technology has exploded over the last 10 or 15 years with battery technology, brushless motor technology. The direction scale has taken so many things in the hobby. Information is so much easier to find now versus when I was starting. Granted, there's so much information now, And there's so much bad information now. Even on YouTube, in videos with a lot of views, there can be really bad information. So there's still challenges, of course, because you have to find out what's actually going to work versus what someone else says may work or what someone else says won't work. There's still work to be done. Hopefully I can take the very long babbling rant session that I just did on camera and edit it down into something comprehensible. Either way, in the end, I think I can break it down into 3 questions. How old were you when you started to RC? Do you think kids will grow up to begin their own RC adventure? And lastly, where do you think that this industry will be in, say, 15 years? Do you think it'll be booming with technology and advancements and amazing options? Or do you think it'll be this shadow of the greatness that RC once was? Tell me what your story is and what you think. I think there could be some really interesting responses to read out of this topic. Thanks again for watching the Scale News Update. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the week. Hit the like button before you leave, subscribe, notification bells on, all that good stuff. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.